Yokohama Chinatown. As you and Kojo leisurely walked through the bustling streets, passing by local Chinese and Japanese parents, you noticed Chinese lanterns swaying gently above the frames of shops and buildings. Despite your best efforts, the investigation seemed to have hit a standstill since your arrival. It seems there's a nearby village just up north from here, Kojo suddenly spoke up. Perhaps we should start there first and see if we could gather some information, he suggests. You turned to glance back at him, only to see him reading a map. Where did he get that from? You had been so focused on deciding where to even start your investigation that you hadn't been paying attention to your lover. When did you have a map? You asked. Kojo glanced at you. Oh, I picked one up from the news rack we passed by, he exclaims. You blinked once, then twice at him, before averting your gaze towards the sky. It was getting dark. And quick. It was dark blue and orange husky blue, with a spray of gleaming stars with a lustrous cavern of the moon poking out, hidden beneath thick, visible clouds. As the darkness enveloped the horizon, the cool evening breeze brushed against your skin, sending shivers down your spine. You couldn't help but feel a sense of urgency to make progress. Perhaps you should start in the village. All right, then let's go, you say. You sighed in relief as a row of quaint horses and houses and shops came into view. The soft glow of the lanterns cast shadows on the cobblestone pathway, creating a mysterious atmosphere that seemed to envelop the entire street. There's a faint sense of incense in the air, the quiet murmur of voices, and the occasional sound of wooden sandals clicking against the ground were the only sound that broke the silence of the night. Okay, let us begin our investigation, Kojo says as he glanced towards a narrow street was lit with red paper lanterns dangling from wires. Right, you say, and followed him. The streets were bustling with people, probably just now returning from home after a long day of work. It must be Fly Day, the day of the week when contrast employees travel from their work site to their home location. As you both wandered around, you noticed the traditional Chinese architecture of the houses. The intricate designs of the rooftop and vibrant colors of the building added a touch of charm to the busy city. I think if we split up and ask around, maybe we can get some info, Kojo suggested, and you couldn't help but agree. Okay, you take right and I take left, you say. Kojo nods. It sounds good, but don't stray too far, my love. You sigh. Oh, you smile fondly at how protective he was over you, always so thoughtful of your well-being. His actions spoke louder than words, showing his love and care for you in the simplest of ways, whether it was holding your hand when crossing the street or making sure you had an umbrella on a rainy day. Kojo never failed to show his concern for your safety and happiness. Indirectly, you led in and gave him a sweet peck on the cheek, a silent gesture of gratitude for his caring nature. I won't, you tell him softly after pulling away. Your words filled his sensory and appetition. Kojo's cheeks turned a faint shade of pink at your unexpected display of affection, a shy smile gracing his lips in response. With that, you both set off in different directions. Each person you approached had a different story to tell, painting a deserved picture of the mysterious events unfolding in the town. After walking past the first few houses and several shops, you noticed that each had a traditional Japanese exterior design. But what really caught your eye was that a few doors had charms hanging from their frames. Not just any charms, but wisteria charms. The very ones Otsu and the Demon Slayer course used. It was obviously used to keep demons away, since wisteria is poisonous to demons. That's odd. I thought Akanin said the Demon Slayer course aren't on no government list. You unwittingly thought to yourself. You tried to wave down a few passerbys that passed you by, but you either got ignored or shunned as you tried to speak. You eventually decided to try the doors of random houses. Meanwhile, Kojo hasn't had much luck either, though he tried to talk to some random Chinese girl, but she squealed in delight, obviously infatuated by his looks, causing the flame filler to chuckle nervously when she started rambling something in Chinese. He properly excused himself from her before deciding to try one of the houses. He sourced around for a doorbell or letterbox, but there was none, so he tried knocking. There was no response at first, and Kojo tried again, knocking on the door with a little more strength compared to his previous attempt. He could hear faint movement inside the house. Eventually the door opened, revealing the tired, elderly face of an old woman as she stared back at him. Her hair was neat and gray as she clutched her shawl, which was draped over her shoulders, closer to herself with one wrinkled hand. "Excuse me, ma'am, but could you spare a moment of your time?" Kojo asked kindly. He spoke with a soft tone, his eyes filled with sincerity as he waited for her response. The woman paused for a moment, studying his face before her eyes widened like dinner plates. "Yama, Yama!" she exclaimed while pointing a finger towards him. Kojo didn't quite understand her since his understanding of Chinese wasn't good. It's Yamu. The woman shouts again. "I'm terribly sorry for disturbing you, ma'am. I have a question to ask," he started. However, the elderly woman soon came to the door, preceding the older woman's husband. I'm going to butcher Chinese, so I'm sorry for anyone who speaks Chinese. "Zhaoying Zhali Mailu?" Yamu, the man says, and the door was permanently slammed shut in Kojo's face. "Yayu? What does that even mean?" The flame pillar wondered. Kojo turned back to see you, who also exclaimed, "No response from your chosen house. No matter how many times you knocked or called out." He decided to try another house as he knocked, but again there was no response. However, he managed to catch a woman peeking through the curtains. She seemed hesitant to open the door. Kojo smiled. "Hello," he waved, but the woman quickly closed the curtains, and Kojo could hear a faint "Yamu." He felt a pang of disappointment as he realized that she was not interested in conversating with him. Regardless, Kojo decided to respect her privacy and continue on his way, understanding that not everyone is open to interacting with strangers, especially those who carry swords. With no luck, you and Kojo retreated to meet backup. "No luck. How about you?" you ask. "Same. I think they're afraid of us," you say. "Perhaps. However, they were calling me a Yayu?" Kojo says. Your brows furrow in question at this. "Yayu? What does that even mean?" you asked. Kojo only shrugged. "No idea, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's some sort of Chinese monster," he says, then smiles sheepishly. "Sorry, my knowledge on Chinese mythology is substandard," he chuckles nervously. "Well, that's not helpful," you sigh. "What the heck are we supposed to do now? It's already late and we're at a loss." We need to think," your lover said profusely while holding his chin. He then furrowed his brows in deep concentration. You could see the wheels turning in his mind as he searched for a solution. "I'm afraid you want to find something here. Paranoia and demolive have already brewed their roots here," said an unfamiliar woman's voice. Kojo and you quickly glanced to see a slender woman with black hair styled in a bun and wearing a pink cheiyo-sama with the skirt portion slit partway up the side. "But perhaps I could be of assistance?" she suggested with a polite smile.